Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to our class for Group 1. Today, what I would like to do is not just a one-way communication. It's gonna be, there are two main topic that I will cover today. One is we will do our own brainstorming, okay? Where the contributions of the ideas will come from every one of you, okay? It is part of the student-centered learning where I will put the main point and then each one of us will contribute or each point, well, you can contribute more. The more you contribute, the more that we will get out of this lesson. And the topic that we will discuss first today is on the brainstorming of the main theories that we have discussed previously and today. On relation to three topics, which is basically the theories based on the diffusion of innovation. Okay, teori yang saya dah mention a few times. Now we would like to see what are the things that we have covered before, and I will add a few more theories that for you to understand in terms of why IT is important, why IS is important to organization. Okay, so we will do a brainstorming session, and immediately after the brainstorming session, we will take 4 minutes or 5 minute breaks, and then we will talk about a very interesting topic, which is ethics and also privacy. Okay, the issue of lagu judi gaya contoh, jeng jeng jeng, lagu judi gaya. Well, there's a pros and cons about that. Things happen for a reason. Okay, sebab kelas saya nak cerita pasal privacy, ethics and so on. Sebab tu benda tu berlaku 2 hari sebelum kelas saya. Okay, and it relates to apa namanya, internet. I was a bit smiling and smirking last night when I saw the Menteri of Communication make a request of all the 91 and 63 platform to bring down, don't post that, jangan ganggu puasa. Okay, why is that happening? Okay, so we will talk about privacy ethics afterwards also, insyaAllah. And then the remaining of chapter 4 we will discuss in the lab. So semua nak discuss hari ni tak sempat nanti. But I would like to be a discussion today rather than saya bagi lecture, saya tak nak. We will have a discussion today. Okay. The rest can please open your cameras so that I will say that this is the attendance for today. Alright. So now talking about the first part of brainstorming. If you guys look into your CIP project pun, before that, macam mana Aiman dah finalize your group, your company?
Oh yes, we have finalized the company.
Dah dapat? Okay, what is the company?
We use the Capricorn first.
Tapi dah confirm dah.
About the meeting not yet lah. About the
okay, alright. But the confirm the company is done. Okay, alright, good.
Yes.
Okay, well done. Good job. Okay. Sebab saya pun tak sempat nak check apa ni dalam update kan. So well done, good job. Now, brainstorming. Okay, kalau if you look into your CIP UPM exercises, after you have handled your meeting with the company, then there is a part where I ask you to do brainstorming. Who in my class today who had already the experience of conducting a brainstorming? Ada sesiapa? Tak ada. Bahasa Melayu dipanggilnya kelakar dengan bahasa Melayu ni. Tapi bahasa Melayu sebut brainstorming is sumbang saran. Dia sumbang, dia saran. Dia sarankan orang. Dia sumbang, saran. Bukan sumbang apa-apa lain. Sumbang saran. Dia sumbang is contributing to the idea. Okay, brainstorming is one part of exercises. Especially orang sekarang panggil student SAL lah. To me, brainstorming is a part of the idea where we acknowledge the ideas of everyone. Okay, we acknowledge the contribution from everyone, meaning we also admit that we are not the only idea, we are not the only brain which is working. Everyone's brains is working. Yeah? Sebab more more brains is more importance than only one brain. We have to accept that we are human being. Okay, so the process of brainstorming is, let's say for today, let me saya buka satu file. Share. Okay. Ini notes for chapter 3, you guys can have a look yourself lah dalam nota. Okay. Alright. So let's say if I want to do brainstorming. Now the topic of the brainstorming is like I say, I'm still new in Apple, so macam blur sikit sekejap. Allah. Tak apalah, let's say okay. Let's see what I want to talk is about okay, saya katalah saya nak cerita pasal brainstorming of theories related to IS and organization. Okay. So let's say this is the topics that I want to discuss or I want to brainstorming with you guys. Okay. Let's start with, anybody want to share what are the theories that I dah mentioned for the past 4 or 5 weeks? I did mention about one theory, which is the mother of all theory. Diffusion of innovation. Atau short form the DOI by Rogers 2003. Ada tak lagi teori-teori apa yang saya cakap? Pasal organization, for instance. Ada? Okay. I did mention about hierarchy. Hierarchy pun saya tak pasti. Bahasa Melayu lah. Hierarchy. Wah, nanti kita betul kan? Hierarchy of organization. Okay. Ada tak lagi teori apa lagi? Apa lagi saya cakap? What are the basic concept which I already mentioned? in the previous class. Apa lagi saya sebut? Hierarchy. Is that hierarchy? Functional areas.
There
Yeah.
some students at waiting list.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay, functional areas. Integration. Apa lagi teori saya nak cerita? Saya cerita pasal apa lagi pernah saya cerita? That you can recall. Now, brainstorming session ni is the part where we want to recall the ideas. So let's say when you're conducting your interview with your clients, okay, and then the next day, don't wait for so long, okay. Like in our case today, I wait for 4 weeks and then I recall, okay. I do the brainstorming to recall back. Sometimes we don't have time. I'm not pointing the faults on my students, but sometimes we are too eager to talk about the current class and then we've forgotten to review of whatever they have done before. Kan? Sebab tu dalam for Muslims, if you want to remember, you want to hafal the Quran verses very easy, this is what my ustazah and my ustaz teach me. After one sentence that you remember, you have to repeat the another sentence. First sentence, you go to the next sentence, yeah, and then you have to go back to the first sentence that you remember. You have to recall back. That is the learning process that the Prophet teach us how to remember. Okay, same goes with any other methods of teaching and learning process. You have to do it to recall back whatever you have learned before. Kalau nak tunggu sampai the 14 weeks and then only you do your examination, budak-budak pun terbagai, pensyarah pun bengong. Okay, so what are the things that I mentioned under diffusion of innovation theory? Yep. I did mention. Okay, this is the process that I do. Listing and then asking. And in brainstorming, there is no wrong. So let's say after you conducting your interview with your with your clients, and then you come back, and maybe this process will be conducted by CEO. I don't know. It's up to your company. If your company says this brainstorming session will be conducted by PR manager, so PR manager have to conduct that. It depends on your company. So division of innovation. What are the things that I've mentioned? I did mention about 2 stages or 2 phases. 2 stages of diffusion. What are there? Anybody? Apa? Tidak ada, there is no wrong in the process, meaning if let's say you mention something which is wrong, Dr. Farid have to still write it down. Ada salah. Sebab lepas tu, Dr. Farid have to mention this is not the correct word. Let's say you kata 2 stage of division is jumping. Jumping kata kan. Sebab tadi saya dengar lagu Bruno Mars baru kan, jumping. Jumping tulis. Even though that this is a wrong answer and it's not so correct, but I have to still write it on. If there is anybody in the group who say jumping, I have to write it down. Okay, this is the brainstorming session. There is no wrong in the process. But afterwards, the theory of Dr. Farid always said that don't scold the stupid or the not knowledgeable people, and why they are not knowledgeable. ask the clever people why they are so dumb, don't teach the unclever people. Jangan marah orang bodoh kenapa dia bodoh, marah orang cerdik kenapa tak ajar orang bodoh. Okay, so that is the basic theory when you conduct a brainstorming process. Okay, so if you say jumping, I have to write the jumping. So what are the other option that we have? Saya dah cerita dulu, 2 stages of division. Apa stage dia? Anybody? Hola. Apa nak try? The output of this brainstorming is one of my favorite question for final exam. Saja sebut. Apa agaknya? Stages of diffusion. Saya bagi contoh, adoption stage. Satu lagi apa? Kan ada ingat jumping betul tak? Adoption. Apa dia satu stage? Adoption is when any group of people or people say it's new. Satu lagi is what stage? Ingat? Implementation stage. Okay? There are 2 stages of diffusion. One is adoption, one is implementation. Penerimaan dan perlaksanaan. Yeah. I told you guys that the process that you are doing now with the companies in CIP UPM is the adoption stage. Yeah. You try to convince them, please use website as one part of your internet marketing punya process. It's adoption. And later on, when I started to communicate with them, is the implementation. Implementation in bahasa Melayu is pelaksanaan. Ataupun bahasa bombastik bahasa Melayunya ialah the stage ataupun fasa implementasi. Bahasa Melayu ni ialah bahasa yang paling banyak menyerap bahasa orang lain. Implementation jadi implementasi. Orang Melayu bijaksana. Dia gunakan bahasa tu. Tapi jangan guna bahasa Indonesia. Orang Melayu ni. Just to mention to you guys, last few days I encounter with Pendeta Zakbar punya cerita. One of the perjuangan Pendeta Zakbar ialah kita ada bahasa Melayu, guna bahasa Melayu. Jangan sibuk guna bahasa Indonesia. Contohnya orang Malaysia ni bukan tak pemalas, tapi tak tahu asal-usul bahasa, dia gunanya parkir. Tempat letak kereta, ada bahasa kita boleh sebut tak? Boleh, tempat letak kereta. Letaklah tempat letak kereta, jangan guna parkir. Parkir itu parking. Orang Indonesia short form kan jadi parkir. Kalau ada Fadilina boleh tanya Fadilina. So we have to understand the roots. Okay, 2 stages of diffusion, adoption and implementation. And then what are the things when I say about these 2 things? Apa yang saya cerita lagi? Yang saya kata don't jump, you jump, I jump. Ingat tak?
Effect.
Apa dia tu?
Bandwagon effect.
Pandai, bagus nak murid saya. Okay, bandwagon effect. Okay. Ataupun saya letak dalam kurungan. Don't jump, you jump, I jump lah. Senang ingat, you jump, I jump. Jangan buat macam tu. Okay. You jump, I jump. Bandwagon effect. Semua masuk dalam tu. It's not a good way. Okay. Bandwagon ni kadang-kadang some people would rather say that bandwagon ni macam orang perempuan. Marah orang perempuan dalam kelas saya. You see the how big is girls punya handbag? Ni Fadilah Kamsah cakap ni. Perempuan punya handbag besar. Semua dia letak dalam tu. Betul tak? My student perempuan ni. Semua dia letak tu. It's compromise of what girls are thinking. Orang perempuan dia fikir macam-macam. Tak apa pening-pening. Mak dia bagi migraine memang. Semua cerita orang lelaki punya wallet kan kecil. Saya punya kecil sampai mana lupa mana saya letak lah. Okay. So bandwagon effect is you put everything in your company's punya or your organization or your individual. Okay. So we cannot just do whatever other people's do. Because we have to remember that sometimes what other people do are not in line with our philosophy ataupun kita punya cara hidup ataupun our company's punya philosophy. So we cannot do that. Ada theory of Machiavelli. Theory of Machiavelli ni, just to mention to you guys, niat tidak membenarkan cara. Maknanya you can do anything as long as you accept, as long as you achieve your aim. In Islam we cannot do that. Machiavelli said can. Buatlah apa pun asalkan kita punya tujuan sampai. We cannot do that. So it relates to not everything that other people do is in line with our perspective. So we have to review that. So that is what bandwagon effects. We don't want it to be just do whatever people do, and then in the implementation stage, we cannot do the best that we supposed to do. Okay, kita tak nak tu. Okay, thank you, bandwagon effects. Kemudian ada saya cerita teori Dr. Farid. Itu apa yang saya sebut? Lompat katak saya sebut. Leapfrogging effect. Leapfrogging effect is by saying that last adopter, okay, last adopter can be the most successful adopter. Last adopter. For instance, my mother, my mom, she can be categorized as last adopter of Instagram. Orang semua dah ada Instagram lama dah, tiba-tiba dia baru guna. Tapi, the way that she use the Instagram is much better than Dr. Farid. I don't know how to use story. The features of story. Because I don't have time to explore, kan? But she, every single time, she do the story. So in terms of implementation, she is much better than me in using the Instagram. Cuma satu je lah, dia tak tahu IG tu Instagram. Short form, banyak perkataan short form. Bila orang cerita, mak kenapa tak buat IG ni? Mak tak ada, mak letak dalam Instagram. Mak, Instagram tu IG lah, tu orang gelak kan. Okay. In terms of adoption, of course, I am the first, I am among the few. Dr. Farid macam tu lah. Whatever come out the new tech, I will come and use it first. This type of people is what you call as innovator. Tak sempat nak kata apa, dah guna dah. Tapi in terms of implementation, my mother, which is categorized as late adopter, is much better than myself. Why? Because she use it frequently. She use it continuously. There is one concept in Islam, sebab bulan puasa kan, so cerita banyak konsep Islam lah. We have to istiqamah. We have to continuously do something good lah. Jangan continuously something bad. Do continuously, itu Jahannam tu nanti kan. Continuously do something good is istiqamah. Ataupun in English we call it as sustainability. You have to be sustained. Bahasa Melayu yang cantik, indah, berseri will say lestari. If you heard the word lestari, kelestarian. Bila say lestari ni bukan hang kasturi ya. Hang kasturi harga bukan. Lestari ni, if you hear the word lestari, it is the meaning of sustainability, istiqamah. So in terms of innovation, diffusion of innovation ni, we always have to remember that those who are sustained is the best. Berterusan. Buat benda baik berterusan. Jangan buat benda jahat berterusan. Nanti siapa cakap, Dr. Farid suruh saya buat benda jahat berterusan. Mampu aku dapat dosa sampai ke kiamat. We have to sustain. Mesti kekalkan kebaikan itu berterusan. Barulah berlaku reformasi. Baru berlaku Islam. Okay? So to understand this, it is the same line with when we do anything in organization. If you do something good, innovation is good, of course. It is something new, and then it must be sustained in your company. It must be sustained in your life. Kalau tak sustain, benda tu tak boleh buat apa-apa. I had a discussion with previously when I was in college chancellor dulu. I had this discussion with my pengetua. I was the president of the college, and then we said that sometimes people cannot relate what is happening outside. Student, tak boleh nak relate what happening outside with your life. We would rather say that what happened outside in Malaysia is not happening in the campus. Salah Dr. Zack. Betul, kamu betul ke? Professor Dr. Zakaria. He is the dean for Fakulti Hutan sekarang. We have the same line of discussion. Same goes with the theory. Any theory lah, macam kita cerita sekarang, is diffusion of innovation theory. That theory is the same of what happening in your organization, your company, and also this theory also mentioned that you have to separate between an individual adoption of innovation and organization. Okay? Kita tak boleh assume apa yang baik untuk orang lain ialah baik juga untuk kita. Itu tadi bandwagon effect saja. We cannot assume that, oh, you buat macam tu boleh, I pun boleh. We always have to look into ourselves, into our organization, what is the best for organization. Sama juga dalam hidup kita kan. We cannot assume, oh, dia buat macam tu boleh, aku pun boleh. Kau buat, tiba-tiba hancur hidup kau. Contoh. Yeah? So these are the things that we have to consider. Sebab itu saya cakap, in my class, in understanding the information system, it's more or less understanding about your life. Yeah, what is good in your life, it's not necessarily is good for other people's life. So you have to reflect. Reflect ni apa? Reflect ni muhasabah. Okay? So that is how you want to connect the thing. When God want to open your heart to see this connection, that is something good lah. Okay? Sebab individual organization, let's say using this keyboard, okay, this moving around keyboard, it might be good for Dr. Farid. It might not good for everyone. Let's say I make the ruling dalam kelas, I make the ruling. Okay, I want everyone to buy one Logitech punya to bring to the class. Budak-budak semua belela. Apa hal pula orang tua ni suruh bawa keyboard? Saya kata, oh, it's very good for me to use. I can move around. Saya boleh duduk kat luar, saya boleh control komputer saya, buat mak saya terkejut. Tiba-tiba saya buka YouTube, ada orang cakap dalam bilik kau. Oh, tak tahu ada hantu mak dia. Kan? Is it good for you guys? I don't know. So I cannot assume that this keyboard, this innovation of Logitech is good for everyone. You might say, katalah Imran nak cakap saya, Doctor, I think the keyboard is not good. Rather than you give us keyboard, give us one each iPad. Itu bagus. So individual and organization, the class needs might not be the same. And we always have to reflect that. We always have to ask. Kita kena sentiasa tanya. Jangan sekali-kali assume. Never assume in your life. Sekarang siapa dah kahwin, siapa dah berkapal ke apa. Don't assume your boyfriend, your girlfriend don't like this. You assume sekali salah, habis bertengkar. Assume is not a good thing because Pak Hamka always say that we are not God. Stop pretending as God. Berhenti menjadi Tuhan. Assume, aku ingat kau suka tadi aku buat jadi. Aku menyampah. Habis bergaduh orang kau baik berdua kan bergaduh. Okay. I assume this keyboard is good for everyone. So I make everyone a must to buy. Tak tanya student. Syarah kadang-kadang terlupa nak tanya student. I make it compulsory for everyone to buy this textbook. Semua orang bayar RM80. Sekali ada seorang bangun, Doktor, kenapa you so stupid? Can we just use online process? Online book, e-book which is for free? Dr. Farid dengar. Betul juga. Betul juga. Kenapa Dr. Farid assume? So we shouldn't have the assume punya concept in any of our organization, our life, and also in terms of IS organization. That is why we have to very objective when we want to introduce any of information system to organization. There is one time, kita maaf cakap lah sebagai contoh UPM lah. There's one time when they want to introduce Putra Blast. The first time. Ini cerita betul, bukan cerita tipu. They never ask all the lecturers. Sebelum ni kita ada Putra LMS. Learning Management System. It's a system. Okay, it's a IS. One fine day, saya tak tahu you guys dah masuk UPM belum, rasa belum lagi masa tu. The first day of the semester, they introduce Putra Blast, and everyone, I mean really everyone, student ke pesyarah semua blasted. Semua menggelabah. Sebab when they first introduced to without telling us, lecturer, all the notes gone. Bayang, pesyarah nota hilang hari pertama kuliah. Tak akan menggelabah pesyarah. Student pula, doktor tak boleh masuk. Doktor tak boleh masuk. Doktor menggelabah semua. The whole university become haywire. Why? Because the administrator of the Putra Blast didn't ask to the lecturers. Tak inform pada lecturers. Satu. Secondly, don't ask the students. They don't inform the student. We are using a new system. Apa consequence dia? Consequence dia, the effects, as a result, satu universiti jadi huru-hara. That was the history of Putra Blast. Saya tahu siapa the pengasas Putra Blast ni. Saya one of my mentor. Sebut nama tak apalah. Profesor Dr. Sidik. Saya komplain, awak, yelah, this is not your field, saya cakap. This is not your field, Prof. Sidik. Is this my field, saya cakap. Dia orang fizik. Orang UPM ni selalu suruh student jujur pada ilmu. Kenapa syarah tak jujur pada ilmu? Suruh student jujur pada ilmu. Exam kan, jujur pada ilmu. Patutnya konsep the same should be taught to all the pesyarah. Pesyarah pun jujur pada ilmu. You bidang apa? Contoh kan ada pula orang dengar online ni terasa pula dengan saya punya lecture kan. It's true. You have to be truthful to your, because what is happening then? It is because they don't understand the process of introducing an innovation. It is an innovation because Putra Blast is a new thing to everyone. So like I mentioned to you guys, dalam teori juga ada saya mention mula-mula dulu. I did mention about what is innovation. Kan? Whatever is new. Kan? Saya tanya, what is innovation? So innovation is something new. If information system, that particular information system in our example I mentioned is Putra Blast. If Putra Blast is new, it is new to the community. Who is the community? Students and all the lecturers. So you have to ask. Kena bertanya. For Muslim, we have been taught about this the first day Rasulullah was asked by Jibril. Iqra, dia kata. Iqra. Bila suruh Iqra, Nabi kata, aku tak reti. Tu peristiwa tu give us a learning process actually. How we supposed to learn. Not only in learning process, in learning a new things. You have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't know. If you don't know, don't assume. Agak-agaknya kalau lah Nabi ingatkan Jibril tu, kau ni siapa? Doraemon. Nak mampus. Kan? Sebab tu Nabi tanya. Okay, so that is the process that we should follow in such way in understanding any of innovation. Okay. So what else? Innovation, hierarchy of organization is also the level. Remember that I mentioned to you, kan? Hari ini kita recap apa kita belajar, and then I will add a few more theories. Saya mention about the level. Different level of management needs different level. Ini tak payah salin, nanti saya bagi. Kan ada yang gigih salin kan, kesian kan. Jadi bersalin macam Siti Nurhaliza gini pula kan. Siti Nurhaliza bersalin dapat anak lelaki gini. I will talk about Siti Nurhaliza sekejap lagi. When we talk about privacy sekejap lagi. Tak sangka saya nak cerita pasal privacy sama juga in the last 5 years I talk about this, dia dapat anak pertama dia dulu. Okay. So the level of management need a different level of IS. Okay. I did mention about this kan? I give the example Datuk Seri Najib. Okay. When we talk about Datuk Seri Najib, actually if you look into my notes for chapter 3, there is a system what you call as TPS, transactional. Ini saya tak mention lagi in kelas. Transactional processing system. What is TPS? Dia punya short form dia TPS. TPS ni is the first to record your product. Alah, yang benda kita selalu tekan-tekan, kita take the technology of RFID. Macam dekat pejabat tol pula. Macam dekat tol, pejabat tol pula. RFID. Yang the red color which we scan. Ataupun senang cakap bahasa mudah, scanner. And you go to Tesco, for instance. They have the scanner. You can go and scan. There is another word, what you call as a barcode. Now, this TPS, for instance, is very crucial in food industry. Maybe food service we don't really ada ke code? Ada. Those especially foods dekat dalam rack. Let's say sandwiches. Maybe we overlook of the importance of this food service. Food industry, yes. Milo, paket mana Milo yang tak ada barcode? Kalau tak ada barcode tu situ Milo tipu tu yang gue. You tengok dekat food. I have this assignment from my professor when I was first sem doing my bachelor degree. The professor name is Professor Ghulam Rusul. Orang kepala batas. Dia memang Ghulam lah, memang Ghulam tu. Ghulam faham Pakistani. He was the first, the fourth dean for our faculty. He taught me introduction to food industry. The assignment he said he gave me and the whole class. This assignment for your lifetime. Assignment for lifetime. Sampai mati kena buat benda ni. Saya kata orang tua ni gila ke apa. Lotlak. Kawan saya orang maling dia lotlak ni orang gila. Dia orang tua gila. Budak first sem masa tu. But the assignment that he gave me until today, I still practice it. Which is at any time you go to supermarket, or any food retail company, the first thing is you turn back and look for the key ingredients. It must be a habit for us foodies. Foodies mean all related to food industry. You are in food service ke, you in food management ke, you are in food tech, fakulti apa ni, food tech punya field. Saya ialah hybrid. Saya ni macam, tak tahulah kata Ultraman ke apa ke kan. My first degree is in food tech. Saya sambung belajar dengan food service. So saya ni dua alam. Na'udzubillah lah, dua alam itu lagi. Ni dua alam in that sense of the food industry. No matter what industry it is, the assignment that given by my professor last time, Professor Ghulam Ursul, can be used to all. Turn around any of your food product, tengok ada tak key ingredients. And then you must tell yourself that you understand each one of the ingredients. Then you are a food people. You are foodies. No matter what. Food service. Cakap cerita pasal barcode ni tadi. Now, some says that, oh, it's not important. No, last time, yes. Maybe people say that what is barcode stand for? Why you have to have a barcode in your sandwiches? For, let's say you want to detect your food. There's one time, example, Ribena berry, kanak-kanak Ribena tu, the retract means call back all their product because of ada terlebih letak gula atau something, glucose. So they retract the whole manufacturing of that particular product in one day, all over Malaysia. Same goes with us. If we want to do a very good sandwiches, okay, bukan sandwich lapranti tak sedap. Dr. Farid kalau dengar kat Encik Bob mampus aku. Memang tak sedap. Sebabnya I used to rasa one of ours, because last time I was very close attached to apa nama, UPM punya camp apa ni, entrepreneur. There's one time student bawa dia punya sandwich bagi saya rasa. Saya kata, ya Allah sedapnya sandwich kamu. Sedap lagi daripada perhenti. Satu bilik meeting gelap. Sandwich kamu buat lagi sedap daripada sandwich perhenti. Dengar kat Prosari mampu aku. Sebab they have the feel and everything. So let's say you want to produce a sandwich and you want to be a good entrepreneur. You have to have all the listing out. You tak boleh kata katalah sandwich Ainul sedap dimakan, katakan. Nama produk tu sandwich Ainul sedap dimakan. Tapi you don't have the listing. You don't have this basic apa namanya, barcode. And you cannot scan the product. How you want to be entrepreneur in a large scale. Kalau nak jual kat jiran sebelah aja, okey tak apalah, boleh dimaafkan. But then if you want to talk about, you want to think big, you want to have a heartbeat pula, masuk lagu pula saya. You want to have a big heart, heartbeat lagu Farid. You have to have a big heart that you want to be a well-known sandwich provider in Malaysia, katakan. Oh, Sabana tu Dr. Farid. Okay. In Selangor, katakan. You have to have the basic things such as have the least key ingredients, and you should have the RFID punya scanner tu, the barcode, so that you can market your product to all over Selangor, sampai ke Kuala Selangor boleh jual. This is what we want, that kind of mentality. And with doing so, then you will see the importance of having a barcode on your sandwich. Kadang-kadang kita kata, alah benda ni alah doktor, tak payahlah saya jual habis. I did say to this student who come up with a sandwich, very nice sandwich. Masa tu one of my student managed to get the contract with Shell. Tahu sedang cendol? Sedang cendol tahu kan? Tak tahu? Yang ada dekat fakulti bahasa tu kan? There's one time, my student do the promotion lah, buat macam you all punya project CIP UPM, and we do that for the online marketing challenge, and we do AdWords instead of website. We do just part of Google punya component. You guys, if you start doing your Google digital garage, you will know what is AdWords. AdWords is advertising your company, your product by using words punya advertisement. Words marketing. Pemasaran perkataan. So dia jadikan cinta, one of the Shell punya provider in KL, masa tu hari yang panas, dia nak jual satu, panas lah aku nak jual cendol lah, saja-saja nak jual cendol lah dekat outlet Shell. Dia pun type, keluar sedang cendol. And because of that, because of the adverts that produced by my student and by your seniors. And then, this company, this sedang cendol dapat kontrak. Dekat semua Shell produk mesti ada dalam masa berapa bulan saya tengok itu. But something out of nothing. Now, when you talk about think big ni, you have to think big. I said to the sandwich punya provider student, your sandwich is good. Very nice. Boleh tak saya tambah satu lagi, nak satu lagi percuma? Oh, bagi percuma kan? Boleh tak saya nak makan satu lagi? Oh, boleh tak tiga pun tak apa. Oh, kau tiga, kau ambil tiga. And then, saya kata, I have to give you a very truthful from my heart punya comment about your sandwich. Taste-wise, presentable, nice, good. Porton nada, tak ada apa yang rosak. Tapi I would say in terms of marketing of your product, how you want to be a big company. Katalah saya ni adalah CEO of, katalah Ben's. Ben's Grocery, kan? B Groceries, kalau siapa yang tahu. Saya makan tu di Shell. Sebab cendol tu, because of that, cendol punya cerita, saya involved in the discussion with the owner of all the Shell's provider. We have one gondola untuk all UPM products. Saya tak tahu lah apa hasilnya. Tapi katalah kita dapat satu gondola dekat semua Shell produk. Ada 99 outlet Shell, satu KL. Produk student UPM semua ada situ, saya kata. And then dapat pula Ben's Grocer punya CEO, Mr. Ben himself. That is one of, kalau you tengok dalam video dia, saya ada satu, Mr. Ben came to my class. Dia makan dan dia rasa sedap. Dia nak jual tu tapi tak ada details of your company dekat belakang sandwich you. You have lost one of opportunity. Okay. Remember, siapa yang dah tengok video, anybody have watched the video that I share last Saturday night? Kalau tak, nanti pergi pada grup, tengok video yang I share by Futur. Mak saya bebel. Dia kata, apa benda kau ni Futur ni? I have become a Futur mami. Mak dia gila, budak ni gila dah. Futur, Future Classroom. There's one video that I share with you guys in the group. Please watch it. And they said that the owner, Mr. Chris, mentioned that we shouldn't see marketers. Marketing is people who selling product. Some people say marketers ni dia jahat dan nakal sebab dia tipu orang. Bukan tipu. Marketing is a process of it is an opportunity to help other people. You see how he defined the word marketing. Marketing is an opportunity to help other people. If you have this kind of mentality, you are not doing bad things. You are trying to sell a product with a good intention. Okay, so that's why if you want to really market your product, you should have a very small component of marketing, which is have a barcode on your product, which is related with the transactional processing system. Now, this TPS is the basic component. Okay, if you don't have this, you cannot detect your product. You cannot detect your product. You cannot use other system. Okay, it's a basic component yang you record harga tu, scanner tu. Kalau you tak ada scanner tu, you cannot record your product into the system. You always have to remember that in any of the system, there must be an input. Input, processing, output. Saya agak cerita sikit. You must have an input from
Sorry, Doctor.
Yes, yes, Tafika. Takifa.
Someone is waiting in the waiting room.
Ada ke? Oh, okay, alright. Kak Tijah, Okay. Now,
Thank you, Doctor.
welcome. You should have input, and then input, you should have processing. Okay. Oh, tak tekan. Yeah. Input, you have processing. Outcome. Okay, in the middle of the processing, you should have resource ataupun save lah, database lah dalam proses tu. Now, input, if you don't have the input, how you want to process? Macam mana you dapat outcome? Sebab tu it is very crucial for you to have a TPS system, a very simple system in your product. People might say that, oh, this is not so cost effective. No, you have to. If you want to have a good outcome, you should have the basic, which is the input. Saya bagi contoh Datuk Seri Najib dah itu. The first input is wrong. People tak suka Rosmah Mansur. Orang semua sampai dekat Datuk Seri Najib, semua cabang, semua bahagian bagi tahu orang sayang Rosmah Mansur. What happened 2018? Kalah UMNO dalam pilihan raya. This is the truth. Adakah orang di sini suka Rosmah Mansur? Saya bagi tahu kat abang ni, kat adik dia. Ada yang suka Rosmah Mansur? Saya pun tak tahulah. Saya pun tak suka Rosmah Mansur. It gave a bad impression to Malaysia. Because there is one time she went to Perth, Australia. I was in Australia. So you cannot lie to me the story, yeah? She buy a handbag, cost about 50,000. The receipt is there and it was come out in one of the Australian newspaper. Yeah? It's a bad impression. I was the president of Malaysia student. Macam mana nak jawab? Malulah kita kan. So I hate her in that sense lah. In that sense, saya beritahu kat adik dia Rosman Mansur. Bang, saya tak suka lah kak abang tu. Memang aku pun tak suka kak aku dia tu. Yeah? So, when this is what happening, but what Datuk Seri Najib received from all the bahagian of UMNO dekat Malaysia waktu tu, oh, people love you. Salah information tu. So, Datuk Seri Najib ingat, oh, orang rakyat masih suka aku. Dia buatlah program, campaign yang macam dia tu adalah pelajar, macam dewa dia buatnya. Salah. So apa jadi? UMNO kalah pilihan raya 2018. The first time it happened in our history of Malaysia. UMNO kalah pilihan raya. Tak pernah berlaku. But this is the facts. Why? Because the TPS is wrong. Ni cerita ni. Macam mana Dr. Farid boleh cerita tu dengan ni? Sebabnya TPS is wrong. The barcode saying that people don't like you, people don't like you. Tapi dia cerita kat atas, the level of management say that, oh, people love you. Takkan dah salah, banyak sangat kipas. Kan? So this is how I want you guys to look into information system. Different level unit, different stages of, different level of information system. Otherwise, the organization will topple down. Hancur. Will crumble down. And that is what happening. And if you look into the things happening today, benda lebih kurang berlaku. Yeah. So the truth is always the truth. Kullu haq walau kana murra. Katalah benar walaupun pahit, kan? Kalau kepahitan tu tak boleh lah, jangan menipu lah cerita dia. Okay, the level of management, information system teach us to be truthful. Macam mana lah doktor? How are you saying that information system is teaching us to be truthful? You cannot put a wrong number as your barcode for your sandwich and then you want to report something sandwich kita tidak disukai. Now the sales say that your sandwich when you put on the rack one fine morning finish before 12 noon 50 pieces dah habis sandwich you. Can you tell if it is recorded in the system? Can you tell to your big boss that it's not yet sell? Boleh? Tak boleh. So that is how information system is teaching us to be truthful. You cannot tell lies. Because what is recorded, that is the facts. Okay? That's the beauty of understanding the information system. It teaches us, yeah, to be truthful to ourselves, to our organization. And with that outcome, whatever is recorded, we can make the correct decision. The correct decision. Oh, sebelum pukul 12 dah habis jual dah. Or we can increase the production. Okay, you see that's how important it is. Okay, and that is also when I started to talk to you guys. Dia dah tulis apa? Functional areas integration. Okay, every section must be integrated. Kalau tak ada integrated, it cannot be works as you wanted it to be. You cannot live alone in this world. I give you assignment in this part. I give you assignment. World is flat. I starting to reading that work. InsyaAllah esok. Saya kena habis baca gastronomi Melayu dulu. Okay. Functional areas integration. You have to be. If you want to be a successful implementer, remember what I said earlier. You have to make sure that all your functional areas must be integrated. If not, bye-bye. Nyanyilah lagu InSync. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Tak boleh buat apa. So it is very crucial in what instances pun, you must be integrated. Remember when you say world is flat, it is about the metaphor that world is one. You are selling your product here, people are buying in Cambodia, katakan. Yeah. So you have to have this kind of mentality. Even though that you saying that you saya jual sandwich, doktor, tak apa. Sandwich is a big thing tau. Without sandwich, people in Australia, for instance, cannot conduct their meeting in the morning. They cari sandwich dulu. So you have to think big in this instance. So I think that was all the theories that have been mentioned before. Now I want to add one more theory today. What is called as product life cycle. Okay. Product life cycle. Apa yang dimaksudkan product life cycle? If you look into my notes for chapter 3, ni. Bigger, Okay. This is in our chapter 3 punya notes. Tak payah salin, tak payah lukis. Okay. Product life cycle is part of diffusion of innovation juga punya teori. Itu sebab saya kata the mother of all theories is diffusion of innovation. Marah kalau orang lain. If you are in what field pun, if you don't know about diffusion of innovation theory, tak usah hidup lah cakap. Contohnya how important is that theory is. In any field, kalau dia kata I'm in a food tech, do you know diffusion theory? Tak tahu, pergi matilah cakap. Because the theory tells us a lot of things in introduction of anything, innovation. The product life cycle theory says there are 4 stages of level when you want to introduce any of your product or any of your innovation. There must be an introduction, fasa pengenalan. There must be a growth, fasa pertumbuhan. There must be a maturity, fasa maturity apa ya? Fasa matured lah. Udah bahasa Melayu saya lupa dah. And there must be a phase of declining ataupun menurun. You like it or not, this is also the theory of our life. Mesti ada pasal dia kenal kan. Kita berkembang, kemudian kita jadi tua, jadi dewasa. Maturity is dewasa. Decline, nak meninggal. Sebab itu when I introduce this theory to my class, I think about a year ago, one of the students said, "Doctor, can I change the name of the theory?" Kamu ni lebih pandai ni Arif. Saya nak tukar jadi teori setiap yang hidup pasti akan mati. Tergelak satu kelas. Setiap yang hidup pasti akan mati. It's true. With this concept of theory, you can understand of whatever innovation is being introduced into your company. How? For instance, I give you, saya bagi contoh satu yang paling mudah. iPhone. Siapa pengguna iPhone? Ada pengguna iPhone, Ada, okay. For instance, iPhone, why they have after 6 months, every single year, after 6 months, they have to introduce another brand. iPhone, katalah iPhone 10, early of the year, and then after 6 months, they started to introduce iPhone 10s. 10s yang kecil. What is the difference? Ada ke different? How much big is the difference? Tidak jailbreak apa lagi? If you look into that very closely, you will see the differences are very small. Application je bertambah. Product is the same. Why? Because if you look into this particular graph, they say there must be introduction. Sebenarnya mula-mula bawah ni dia akan jatuh sikit. When you first introduce anything, there must be collapse. Mesti jatuh. Orang tak terima. Pasal benda baru. Manusia ni, one of the mentality, sifat manusia ialah when you introduce anything new, that first they will say, ya ke? Buatlah apa pun. It must be they will say no at first. But after the review bit, bagus rupanya, jomlah. Barulah semua start menyanyi lagu Shopee Raya. For instance, mula-mula apalah shopping. Lepas tu dia yang shopping lebih daripada orang lain dalam Shopee. Contoh. Okay. Dah tahu kan tu Dr. Farid sendiri kan? Tak tahulah kan? Okay. The introduction phase. When you first introduce iPhone tadi. There must be a time when people are at peak. Semua nak beli iPhone. There must be a growth stage. Kita lah dalam hidup kita, umur 7 hingga 12 tahun tu, semua pertumbuhan, semua jadi tinggi. Kau boleh tiap-tiap hari nak pergi ukur kat dinding. Tinggi tak? That's why I say whatever happen in our life, it's actually happen in our organization, in anything. Sama, cuba tengok. Growth. And then maturity, dewasa, dah start stable pemikiran. Kecuali Dr. Farid, dia sentiasa ingat dia masih dalam growth lagi. Dia ingat dia masih muda lagi. Sebenarnya dah tua dah, tak sudah diri. Okay. Now, maturity. And after the stage of maturity, there must be a decline. Adakah orang yang tak decline? Mungkin nenek saya lah. Pasal dia umur 86 masih ingat muda lagi kan. So, Wan dah tua kan. Tak adalah, boleh lah. Dia panggil semua orang akak. Dia panggil semua orang akak perempuan. So, itu petua nak jadi muda. Setiap panggil orang lain abang. Macam saya lah. Saya panggil abang Kak Su. Sebenarnya orang tu sebaya dengan saya. Contoh lah. Okay. Nenek saya buat macam tu. She's 86 years old and still kicking. Now, but the rules of life, everything must be a decline. Now, in the iPhone case tadi, the iPhone punya center of research, they already know. We have this what we call as consumer behavior. Consumer behavior, benar dengar ataupun gelagat pengguna. Gelagat pengguna manusia ni is our fitrah, is our kejadian. We will get bored of something after 6 months. That is our fitrah, our behavior. Either you like it or not, that is our behavior. We are human. Our behavior is all the same. Because why? Because the creator is the same. No matter what religion, whatever, what kaum you are. Semalam berita yang begitu tak gembira kita dengar di Johor. Bermain sukan ikut kaum. La ilaha illallah. Please don't do that. In UPM kalau buat beritahu saya pergi sekel siapa yang buat. Di Johor, satu sekolah, keluar berita, sukan ikut kaum. Dah gila ke apa? I cannot accept that. Because in whatever, because I understand innovation, I understand information system is meant for all. Internet is meant for all. There is no description or you because you are Muslim, the internet is special for you. No, no, no. Internet is meant for all. Okay, contoh nanti disebut privacy lagi. Now, by understanding this concept, Apple, Apple, Steve Jobs lah senang, Steve Jobs. Orang baik-baik ni mati awal. Tengok Steve Jobs dah tak ada kan. He understand this very well. So he says that every 6 months, we have to introduce something new. When it is new, bila dah iPhone 10 tadi, in the stage of declining, because people are get bored, 6 months, the human being punya character ataupun behavior is getting bored. So he said that we have to introduce something new. When Apple introduced something new, it goes back to this curve. Balik, they start with this curve. So you know what's happening? Every 6 months, they will get introduction growth baru. So they will get a new sales, new numbers. They will keep on top of other brands. This is what mendiang ataupun the former Steve Jobs have in mind. It's true. Dah decline. How you cannot fight decline. Nak mati, boleh lawan mati ke? Tak boleh. So what they did is they introduced 10S. 10S as a new product, quote to quote, new product. So it will go through back introduction, growth, maturity, decline. So they will start to get growth balik dalam dia punya sales. Nampak tak apa orang marketing buat? Understand the life, bring the life into the system. That's why after 6 months dah takkan nak buat dah 10S, takkan nak buat 10ST pula kan. So they did after 1 year they introduce 11. So every year they have that. Same with Samsung. So what they will get, they will retain the sales, they will increase the sales. So this is what the theory that have been teach to us, and this is what information system experts, whatever you want to call them, marketers, they've been doing that. Okay, and this is what which is crucial for us to understand. Sama juga kalau you ada couple kan, after 6 months kalau you tak buat something to trigger relationship, putuslah hubungan dia ni. Tengok tak saya buat lah. Orang tua bercakap kan. Yeah. So it's the same. Okay. So whatever happen, it happens for a reason. So in order for your company to flourish in terms of using information system, you have to make sure that there is an innovation in your company, in your food company, in your food retails. Yeah. So that is the theory of product life cycle, ataupun ada student saya panggil, saya panggil, student saya panggil, everything that live must be die. Setiap yang hidup pasti akan mati. Saya tergelak, saya sendiri tergelak dalam kelas. Yeah. But it's true. Everything that goes up must go down. Orang putih saya cakap, everything goes up must go down. That is the rules of life. You cannot do anything about that. Okay. So I think by that, these are the main theories, concept that I would like to introduce to you guys. Okay. Lepas ni tak ada sebut pasal diffusion of innovation. That these are the things that you have to understand. You understand this, dapatlah 10 markah final. Saya cakap betul ni ya. Faham ke? Tak faham, tanya nak saya. Any question so far before dah pukul 4 dah pun. Cantik betul masa. I will talk about the privacy in our next class lah. Okay. In our lab tomorrow, saya cerita pasal privacy sikit. Cerita Siti Nurhaliza on privacy. Any question about the theory ni? This theory, the brainstorming ni covers chapter 1, chapter 2 and chapter 3 of our class. Okay. Mana-mana you kelok tak mana lah, dia akan relate back to all these concept and theories yang saya mention ni. Any question? Ada soalan? Ada yang tak faham? Faham kot. You relate kan your life actually. Kalau you relate with your life, you understand what is information system. Sebab tu bila saya kelas terakhir orang selalu tanya saya, kenapa you relatekan information system dengan agama? It's life. It is life. You cannot run from your life. It's happening. Okay, any question? Ada soalan? Fazira punya lansir lawa. Itu buat apa gantung tu. Okay, ada soalan tak ada? So that is what I want to cover, and it's pretty much actually on chapter 3. If you look into the chapters, whatever I mentioned in my lecture, that is the important crucial. Kalau yang kena ERP ke apa tu, that is the extension, that just a name. Okay, apa yang saya mention the concept, you understand, you can answer my final exam. Now I just want to touch bit on final exam. Saya rasa siapa ni your class Capitano ada ask you kan over the weekend. Your final exam will be on the 13th. On the 13th of July. 13th of July. 13th of July. She asked me if I can postpone to 16. Saya kata, tak payahlah lambat. Buat 13 tu dah okey kot. Dia kata. Sebab the first date at the moment yang UPM keluarkan, your exam will be first group. Your group is in the morning. 8:30 sampai 10:30. Tapi saya suggestkan, saya cakap, saya bincang dengan your class Capitano, saya kata, why don't I shift it to 2:30 until 4:30 for both groups? Sebabnya apa? Sebab I will tell you now, the concept or the format for your final exam will be a bring home test. Saya takkan buat online exam. Pukul 2:30 tu baru semua orang nak duduk depan komputer tengok soalan Dr. Farid jawab. Tak ada kerja. Buatnya tengah hari tu internet hilang. Semua menggelupur. Bukan you all gelupur, saya pun menggelupur. It happens to me. Kelas dah setiap dah standby. Okay kelas, today elektrik tak ada rumah saya. Apa nak buat? Elektrik tak ada, bukan internet. Zaman-zaman moden Last year happened to me. That's why, okay, student pop, elektrik lampu pun. Mak, apa hal? Saya kata. Kan? Elektrik boleh tak ada. You never know future. So I don't want to play with future. So my exam, for your information, I will give you questions about 7 days or 10 days before. Okay? It's gonna be an open book test. Bila saya kata open book test, I assume Dr. Farid kata dia jangan assume. Okay, I hope lah. Okay, tak nak assume. I hope that the answer for the question will be buff. I expect to see you guys will do some revision lah sikit. Because the questions is a case study. Saya akan bagi 4 case study. Okay, you have to go through the question, baca case study, understand the case study, and then you answer the case study. Okay, 4 question is a case study. 1 question, dia ada 5 soalan. The last final question is something to do with your experience of conducting CIP UPM. 4 case study, 1 CIP question. 5 soalan sahaja. Total marks 70. Probably the last question to 20 question. 20 marks. So 70 marks, saya akan ambil hanya 30% for your final. So ada 5 soalan, 4 soalan, 4 case studies. 1 is from your CIP UPM. Okay. And this question I will disclose to you 7 days before your exam, inshallah. Okay, 7 days before your exam, 7 days for you to prepare the answer. On the 13th of July, apa you gonna buat pukul 2:30 sampai 4:30 is just upload the answer Katalah tak ada elektrik ke, tak ada apa ke, boleh upload awal tak doktor? Boleh. Prepare earlier. So the due date is on the 13th of July pukul 4:30 petang. The time that UPM bagi tu ialah time for you to upload the answer saja. Jadi insyaAllah there will be no issue of Dr. Elektrik tak ada dah. Dah bagi seminggu tambah pula 2 jam lagi tu. Seminggu 2 jam untuk semua orang. So I reckon that it will be sufficient and I expect the answer will be sufficient. Ya, ada satu hari tu, satu semester saya ada the first sem kot kita buat CMO ni. One of the student dapat pula kebetulan PA saya. Sampai hati doktor, saya seorang dia dapat B+. Saya pandang ni. Kita kan orang Penang, orang Pulau Batai. Kata Kasha, tersebut nama pula. Okey. Saya cakap, awak rasa sebab apa awak tak dapat markah, tak dapat A macam orang lain? Alah, saya jawab cincai je. Hang pun tahu apa hang buat je. Kalau saya dah bagi 7 hari kan, jawapan tu mungkinlah saya letak situ markah ada 5 marks. I expect to see more lah kan. Letak je point 1. Macam mana saya nak bagi markah? Kan? So must be reasonable lah. But that would be your final exam punya format. Okay, 5 question, 70 markah, saya will take 30%. Okay? Ada question apa-apa? Any questions from anyone? Tak ada. So if there is no question, I think that's all for today. On regards to the remaining privacy and ethical punya notes, I can mention in the lab tomorrow, insyaAllah, or I will mention in our next class. Okay, we are still on the track for the topics, so don't worry, insyaAllah. Okay, so if there is no more question, that's all for today's class. Thank you for your time. Selamat berbuka puasa bagi yang berpuasa, and stay safe still. The case is peaking yesterday. Ya. Semua orang jadi panik, 2,000 cases, Kelantan tutup semua sekolah. Ada orang Kelantan sini. Jaga-jaga diri anda. Okay, stay safe. Still remember, we are not still yet vaccinated. Dah abang saya bebas. Allah ayat. 2 kali vaksin pun kena juga tu. Itulah dia teori apa terbaat. Saya cakap abang saya. Teori God is the most powerful. Nobody else can detect anything. 2 kali vaksin, ada kes. Ya? Dah dicocok 2 kali ke vaksin, tiba kena juga. Itulah dia teori qada dan qadar. Okay. So by saying that, thank you and I see you guys insyaAllah tomorrow. Assalamualaikum and bye-bye. Take care everyone. Send my regards to your family.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Sama.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay.